All right. Hello, everybody. I am Erin Dietrich. I'm the Community Engagement Program Manager here at New Relic, and I wanted to thank all of you so much for coming out tonight. We're really excited about this wonderful group of people who you're going to hear from tonight, who are all doing incredible work in the Portland community, helping to support young women in a variety of different programs. So the overview of the evening is going to be, good. So we're going to do quick lightning talks from 5 nonprofits. It helps if I don't stand in front of it. Then we're going to do a fireside chat with 3 young women who are part of the Eureka program through Girls Inc. And then we're going to have a lightning talk from Jolie Brownell. And finally, we'll do a Q&A for Jolie and the women in the fireside chat. So if you want to hold on to your questions in the end, and we'll talk to all of them. And then you'll have some more time to go back and talk to each of our nonprofits. Hopefully you all have seen this. This is the Willamette Weekly Give Guide. All 5 of these nonprofits are featured in this year's Give Guide, which is an amazing compendium of resources for places that you can get involved in with your volunteer efforts, with your donations, and just really understand who's helping support our community here in Portland. So we're thrilled that all 5 of these fantastic organizations were called out in this year's guide, and we hope that you each take some time at the end of the night to get to know them. They'll all be back at tables across the back. Talk to them, find out how you can get more involved with them. And if you are moved to do so, there's some easy platforms for you to give to each of them. And there's some really cool raffle prizes. So if you make a donation tonight, you can plop a ticket into one of the raffle cups. And then we'll be calling raffle prizes from about 7:30 to 8:30. So do stick around after the program to chat with all of the folks from these fantastic nonprofits. The one last thing before we get started is just, for many of you, I think you're new to our space. So if you haven't been to New Relic before, can I see a show of hands? Who hasn't been here? Awesome. Well, welcome. We are so thrilled to have you here at our headquarters for our engineering part of our product. If you are ever interested in working here or hiring, it's a fantastic place to work. There are a bunch of us here. If you work at New Relic, can you raise your hand? Look at all of those people for you to pick their brains. Ask us about what it's like to work here, and if you're interested in getting more information, my business cards, as well as my colleague Matt, who's one of our recruiters, are out on the front. And when you leave tonight, feel free to grab one of them and reach out to us, look at our careers site. And if you'd like to become part of the New Relic family, please reach out and talk to us because we'd love to have you. So without further ado, I'm going to have Kelly come up from App Camp and let us know about their organization.
So my music starts in, oh, this isn't karaoke, sorry. So, hi everybody. My name is Kelly Gamont and I'm with App Camp for Girls. I'm a founding volunteer, been with the organization since it started, and we had our first camp in 2013. We're looking to expand to 3 new cities in the next 3 years. And I'm gonna tell you a quick story about how we got started. I got a text message from my friend Jean McDonald, and she said, I'd like to have lunch with you. I wanna buy you lunch, and I have an idea I want to talk to you about. And so I went and had lunch with her. And she said, so I have this idea. And I said, that sounds awesome. If it's your idea, it's a good idea. How can I help you? And she said, well, I didn't tell you what it was. And I said, well, it doesn't matter. I know if it's your idea, it was a good one. So how can I help? And she said, well, I was just at WWDC in California, and I couldn't see another woman in the main session from where I was sitting. And I want to fix that. So how do I fix that? And she volunteered a lot with Rock and Roll Camp for Girls. They're also here tonight. You can talk to them. And she said, I want to use their model of spend a week and teach girls how to build an iOS app. So we went through some evolutions of that program to see how we could make that happen. We do make it happen. They do build a complete iOS application in a week. And at the end of the week, they have a slide deck. They have to pitch their app to a panel of investors. They have to talk about how they would market the app, how they're going to make money off the app, how to get the word out about it. And they have to do all of this in the course of a week. And it's always super great. At the end of every summer, we take all of the apps from all of the cities from all summer long, and we bundle them up into an application you can get in the App Store. So all of our graduated campers all are published app developers in the iTunes App Store, which I think is pretty awesome. And because I'm not, so that's pretty great for all of them. And all of those apps are available at the back at our booth. You can take some of these quizzes, walk through some of these stories, and see how they work. And I'm really excited to get to talk to all of you individually. Yes, if all of you do want to come talk to me, I'm good with that. As you can tell, I like to talk. And I'm happy to talk to all of you about more about what we do and what we will do with your donations. So, thanks.
Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Janelle Hull, and I am the Portland Community Manager at ChickTech. Who here before has heard of ChickTech? Oh, look at all those hands. That's amazing. I'm going to explain it to you anyways. I'm so sorry. So ChickTech is a national nonprofit that is founded and headquartered here in Portland. We have 20 chapters throughout the United States and some incredible things going on here in Portland. We're a multi-generational organization that serves both girls and women and inspires them to pursue technology careers. So we serve middle school girls, we serve high school girls, and we serve a lot of career level adults like you all. And for our middle school and our high school programs, we focus on engaging girls in hands-on technology projects through workshops so that they can really build their confidence and their technical skills in. So they do things like 3D print, and they do things like code their own games, and they do things like program and solder their own robots. And so we continue to be inspired by all of the creativity and the technical skill and the power of these high school and middle school girls when we give them those opportunities. We also run a career level program, and for that we do bi-monthly meetups that you're all very welcome to. We do imposter syndrome workshops and 3D printing workshops and networking nights so that you can build your soft skills and your technical skills and build a really inclusive community to feel like you belong in technology. We also run a very cool conference, if I may say so myself, called ACT-W, which is an acronym for Achieving Career Advancement for Women in Tech, or Technical Women. And ACT-W is a really inspiring two-day conference that we run in Portland here every summer. We also run it in a lot of other chapters and nationally throughout all of our different ChickTech chapters. And one of the really cool things about ChickTech is that we're a nonprofit that is powered and run by volunteers. So there's lots of opportunities for you all to become a deep part of the ChickTech community and family. We have a lot of opportunities in Portland right now on our Portland leadership team. So we have open positions to run high school workshops. If you have a tech background or you're inspired by high school girls, we have opportunities to do marketing and community engagement. And we have a lot of open positions if you're an adult who wants to mentor high school girls as they sort of navigate the world of technology and choose their career. We also have more upcoming events that are really exciting. One of the ones that I'm looking forward to is our salary negotiation workshop that's open to everybody. So if you want to learn to negotiate your salary, it's an important skill for women and everybody. We are also doing a Women in Tech holiday party on the 19th and lots of other opportunities to network. So if you want to hear about these events and join us at them, we have a meetup group that you can follow us at. We also have a newsletter that you can sign up for, and we also have people here today like me that you can come talk to. And yeah, we would love to have you join the ChickTech family, and thank you all so much for coming here and supporting us. If you want to learn more about volunteering or our events, or you want to give to us through the Willamette Week Give Guide, you can find us back at the table. And we have a couple of really cool raffle prizes from ChickTech today for giving. One of them is a ChickTech soft circuit kit, which girls use to build their own wearable electronics. So come learn about that. Thank you.
Thanks, Janelle. Hi, everybody. I'm Christy Balzer. I'm the Executive Director for Rock and Roll Camp for Girls. Rock and Roll Camp for Girls started right here in Portland 17 years ago. We are the original rock camp. There are now over 100 camps just like ours worldwide, in Japan, Australia, in New Zealand, everywhere. So, a little piece of Portland pride for all of you. Rock and Roll Camp started right here. In 2001, our founder, Misty McElroy, saw a need for a safe space for kids who did not see themselves reflected in the mainstream music industry. They needed a chance to create music, get loud, and just be themselves. So Misty and a bunch of her anarchist punk musician friends got together and created a week of camp. Over 250 girls attended in that first week. Very overwhelming. And all of them and all the volunteers knew that they had hit on something really special and they needed to keep it going. And it's been going every year since then. Since 2001, programming has expanded to include after-school programs, adult programs, internship programs, special seminars and workshops. Out of the Portland camp grew the Girls Rock Camp Alliance, which is a national organization that brings camps from all over the world together annually to share their big ideas. Here in Portland, summer camp is our premier camp. Each summer, we bring 65 campers together each week for 4 weeks to show them that they can accomplish a really difficult task in a short amount of time with people they've probably just met, and then showcase that in front of hundreds of people at the end of a week. We open the door to a thoughtful dialogue on historical privilege, appropriation, and exploitation by viewing it through the history of rock music. Our campers gain a sense of confidence, self-esteem, and fearlessness that carries with them throughout their lives. So, how do we do it? Each week, our campers form a band made up of a drummer, a guitarist or two, a bass player, a vocalist, keyboardist, most of whom have never picked up an instrument before in their life. They form that band, they learn how to write an original song, and then they perform live at the end of the week at the Alberta Rhodes Theatre. And they do a whole bunch of other stuff too. They attend workshops on songwriting, self-defense, bedazzling, gender identity, racial oppression, stereotyping in the media, cultural appropriation, screen printing, and zine making. Some of our campers go on to be interns and take on leadership roles during camp. Our interns are band coaches, roadies, skit performers, instrument instructors, and even find time to form their own bands and write songs and perform. For everyone involved in camp, and if you've ever been, you know it's true, it's magic for everyone. So now I know you're all wondering, how am I going to get involved in all of this magic? I want to be at Rock Camp. Lucky for you, we have lots of events throughout the year that you can help out with or attend. You could come and help sell drink tokens at our epic karaoke contest happening in March. You could work the merch table during our 6th annual women's arm wrestling tournament in April. And in May of this year, we're going to need an army of volunteers to help us put together the Red Dress Party as one of its 2 beneficiaries. And of course, every summer, each week of camp requires nearly 100 volunteers to make all of that magic happen. So we need you. Come out and help us show girls that they can be loud, that they can be bold, and that they can change the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Hey, everybody. My name is Terrence, and I am the chapter director for Skate Like a Girl here in Portland. For those of you familiar with skateboarding, you know that there's kind of like a really come-as-you-are attitude. It celebrates individualism, being unique. The truth is that that's only really true if you look like the skateboarders, right? I see a lot of shaking heads. Skate Like a Girl is an organization that looks to fix that problem. It started in 2000 up in Seattle. It's been around pushing 18 years now. Down in Portland, got going in 2007, so we're about to celebrate our 10th anniversary. And it's an amazing organization that really helps to break down some of those barriers to participation in skateboarding. Skateboarding truly is an activity that anybody can do anytime, anywhere, as long as it's dry, which is sometimes a problem in Portland. But anybody can pick it up. And what we want to do is introduce skateboarding as an option to female identified participants in the Portland area. We also, very recently, we started including some male participants to try to create male allies at a young age. You see that in a lot of our after school programs. And I guess that's a good way to get into what exactly it is that we do. We provide after school programs primarily through the Sun networks. And right now we're working primarily in North Portland. We have done Southeast. We have been over on the West Side. Basically any school that lets us skate in the gym will be there. We do weekend clinics at Commonwealth Skateboarding. If you guys are familiar with Commonwealth, they are our saviors because they are the only publicly available indoor skate park in Portland, and they allow us to do programming there for a song, basically. Come and experience that. We do them on Sundays, and I know we have a couple people in this room that have been to those before. Check out skatelikegirlpdx.com. That is for both youth and adult. So if you are a new Relic employee, you're sitting here thinking like, man, skateboarding, I want to try that, but I don't want to break my neck. Come work with us. That's why we have coaches. We also offer ladies' nights, and that is for all female identified people of Portland. If you come out on the last Friday of the month at Commonwealth from 8 to 10, you're going to meet a bunch of other ladies who are interested in skateboarding. The environment is amazing. It's one of the most positive places I've ever been in my entire life. And I would definitely ask that any ability, any age, come on through and experience Ladies' Night at Commonwealth. Some of the things we have on the slate for 2018 is reproducing the success we had in Seattle with the YES program. The YES program is our Youth Employment Through Skateboarding program, and that's for teenage volunteers who then go through the pipeline and can be paid coaches. Most of our admin staff in Seattle actually came up through the YES program, so we have a lot of success stories there. Other than that, we're just looking for opportunities for growth. We're looking for venues, we're looking for partners, and we're looking for people that want to be a part of a great organization that gets more inclusivity in skateboarding. So if you have any interest in donating, if you have any interest in participating, if you have any interest in volunteering, you can catch me at the table in the back after these speeches tonight, which I'm actually very excited to hear. And look us up at skatelikegirlpdx.com. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much. I might go to one of those skateboarding nights because when I was a teenager, I really wanted to be a skateboarder. But it was like really boy-centric, so I didn't get to. Hi, everyone. My name is Megan Kovacs. I am the Director of Community Relations for Girls, Inc. of the Pacific Northwest. I want to thank Erin and New Relic tonight for hosting all of us. This is a really amazing event to celebrate 5 of the girl-focused nonprofits in the Pacific Northwest in Portland. And also to hear from our amazing Eurekans, who you'll hear from in just a moment. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background about Girls, Inc. and Girls, Inc. of the Pacific Northwest. Girls, Inc. is the oldest girl-serving organization in the country. It started in 1864. We have 28 different evidence-based curricula that are developmentally appropriate for girls from the age of 6, so girls in kindergarten, to the age of 18, so girls who are just in the process of graduating from high school. So our program focuses on the whole girl. We know that it takes a lot for a girl to grow up to be strong, smart, and bold. There are a lot of barriers that girls face in our country and in our culture. We want to make sure that we are focusing on developing young women to be leaders in their community. We focus on everything from body image to economic literacy, to media literacy, to healthy relationships and healthy sexuality, to exploring careers in science, technology, engineering, and math, to exploring physical fitness. We really focus on everything that it takes to grow up to be a strong, healthy, and independent. One of our programs that you'll hear a lot about tonight is our Eureka program. You're going to hear from some of our Eureka participants, who we call Eurekans. They participate in a 5-year program. So they start the summer after 7th grade and work together in a cohort every summer and on weekends throughout the year to learn from adult women, to learn from people in our community about what it means to explore science, technology, engineering, and math as a career. It's really exciting programming. We have lots of partners in the community who help us pull this off, who help us help girls explore these careers, who help show them and model for them what it means to be leaders in their community. What Girls Inc. is also known for, a large part of our programming, are also our after-school girls groups. That's where we implement the curricula. They're 8 weeks long in after-school programs, 3 times a year. So each curricula, each topic is focused on for 8 weeks. And over the course of an entire year, girls learn how to be strong, so how to be healthy, how to be bold, how to be independent and own the power of their own voice, and how to be smart, how to capitalize on their education to find a future career, to find out what inspires them in their future. So we feel really lucky to be here tonight to talk to all of you, and so you all get the opportunity to hear from our Eurekans. Ways that you can get involved with Girls Inc. We have lots of volunteer opportunities. You can run a girls group, you can help with our Eureka program, you can help with special events. Depending on the amount of time that you have to commit, we can find a role for you. Our volunteer coordinator is here tonight. Tara, you want to raise your hand? Tara is the person to talk to if you want to get involved and work with Girls Inc. of the Pacific Northwest. We have sites in Southwest Washington. We're expanding throughout Washington and throughout Oregon, so no matter where you live, we'll be able to find programming for you and your community. Thank you so much, and I'll turn it back over to Erin.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I hope you're all as excited as I am about these fantastic nonprofits who are here and the great work that they're doing in Portland. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce our moderator for the next portion of our program, which is going to be a chat with some of these amazing young women who are involved in Girls Inc. Ann Buckley is our moderator. Ann, come on up. Ann is New Relic's Senior Director of Technical Support. She's a seasoned technical support leader. She spent much of her career building and leading extraordinary teams that are passionate about delivering a world-class customer experience. She is the ultimate cat herder in her professional life, and she is an enthusiastic supporter and mentor within Portland's women in tech community. I was so thrilled when Ann agreed to join us tonight because she is just an incredibly passionate person who has been involved in so many fantastic organizations. She herself is an incredible role model for all women to show us what an amazing female executive can do within an organization. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Ann, who's going to bring up our panelists.
You're too kind. All righty. Come on up. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right, first rule, red off, green on. All right. Why don't we just do a quick introduction? Well, before we get started, how many people here have heard of Girls Inc.? How many people have heard of this Eureka program? Good. We got some educating to do. All right. Why don't we start here at the end? Introduce yourself and school and grade and how long you've been in the Eureka program.
My name is Denitsa Milosh-Manthe. I'm in 8th grade at West Sylvan, and I started Eureka just last summer.
My name's Mara. I'm a junior at Madison High School, and I've been with Girls Inc. for 4 years.
My name is Amaya Gustav, and I go to Franklin High School. I'm in 11th grade, and this is my 4th year with Eureka.
Nice, and the Eureka is a 5-year program, so Maya and Mara are 80% of the way done, if my math's correct, right? You know, when we were talking before, we talked a little bit about how you got involved in the program. What drew you, Maya, to the program?
Um, I did a lot of after school programs with Girls Inc. since elementary school. So by being involved in Girls Inc., I heard about it through like my directors and stuff.
I heard it just from my parents. It was something my mom just like put me into that my friend's mom told her about. But my very, very first experience with Girls Inc. was in 7th grade. I went to like an after school thing with Da Vinci, and that was like really fun. So,
I did an after school program that I heard about from a friend from Girls Inc. And then my facilitator talked to my mom about Eureka.
There's a really big mom factor. It's good though. I want to talk to Mara a little bit. You were telling me about the internship.
oh yeah. So for our 3rd year of Eureka camp, we did a 5-week long internship with Northwest Youth Corps, and it was where we worked really, really hard, and we got rid of invasive species like blackberry and English ivy and this stuff called stinky bob. That's what we called it. And we got to work with like high-powered tools and stuff and learn about different invasive species and just like experience something that we would have never done on our own. For a lot of us, it was something out of our comfort zone, but it was like a really good work experience. I think I had a great time. Well, there were some parts that were really hard, but but I really appreciated the experience, and I had a really close bond, I feel like, with my other work members and the facilitators we had with us. So I'm really appreciative of it, even if it was really difficult.
Power tools? What kind of power tools?
Um, what's it called? We had, I don't know. It was this big thing that had a spinny blade at the end, and you would hold. I don't know what it's called. It was really
Dangerous.
scary though. There were 2 of them. No one ever wanted to use them because they were so loud and uncomfortable. I mean, we all eventually had to, but I don't. They were really long, and you held them like this, and you went like that. I don't know what they were called, but they were loud. We wore little earplugs.
Were you on that crew too, Amaya?
I was on the crew right after Mara's. So yeah, we also did the same thing. We built stairs, which was from scratch, so that was that was fun.
Somebody played a trick on you. Do you know how hard it is to do stairs? Like it's hard. It's a lot of measuring, recutting.
The wood, yeah.
Nice, that's cool. With Eureka, you also get to do some field trips. And so let's start with you, Denitza. What was your favorite field trip and why?
Oh, probably when we went to the car dealership because I love cars. We got to talk to mentors, like women who had careers there, and it was really fun listening to their career paths and struggles and stuff.
You know, I saw from your the biography that you gave us, and I was like, oh yeah, because it's marine biology or
Auto mechanical engineering.
boom, yeah. How did you get interested in cars and auto mechanics?
Well, my uncle, he loves cars. My dad loves cars, but he loves like fast cars and like small, tiny cars that I will not be able to fit in. Like I'm 5'7.5". I can't. I'm uncomfortable. But I started watching NASCAR, even though those are small, tiny, fast cars. It was fun because like all I thought about was like horsepower, engine, and wheels and stuff. And all my friends never believed me that I said I wanted to go and do something with cars. And then we started a program with my school in science class, and we started we're building a car right now out of a mousetrap, which is very hard. But yeah, through Girls Inc. I learned I loved engineering and building stuff. So
Nice. And auto racing's nothing but physics in motion. Amaya, in your biography, you had you're starting to hone in a little bit on what you might want to study in school. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
I hopefully want to study animal science and go into the vet field. I really love biology. Yeah.
Do you have pets at home?
I have a miniature poodle. His name is Buddy.
Nice. Do you get to take Buddy anywhere with you?
On walks.
Everybody needs a walk, Buddy. You know I'm going there. All right. Mara, what was your favorite field trip and why?
My favorite field trip, probably visiting colleges this summer. We got to look at a lot like OSU and UP and Washington State, and it was just, I don't know, it made me really get a feel for it because before I couldn't imagine what college was like. I couldn't imagine walking in the hallways. Like I thought it was too big. I got lost at my school, like which isn't that big. So it was nice to get a feel for an actual college. And yeah.
Nice. And you're still keeping your options open on what you want to study?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm exploring. And Girls Inc. helps me look at all my options.
Nice. All righty. For the Eureka program, so you all have been in it for 4 years. What have you learned about yourself? Besides you're bold, strong, and smart. I know we didn't go over this, Amaya.
Over my time in Eureka, I've learned that I can see myself in a position in a STEM like field because it's not something I used to picture myself in, but now after all the field trips and workshops and activities, I really see myself in a STEM career.
Nice. And with the veterinary science, was that something on your radar before Eureka?
No.
Nice. So you figured you had the confidence now to kind of combine your love of animals.
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. Denitza, what have you learned about yourself from the program?
Well, before Eureka, in elementary school and sixth grade, I wanted to be a fashion designer, which was like what every girl in my class wanted to be. In elementary school, I wanted to be a Marine. That's all I wanted to be, all 6 years. I wanted to get a buzz cut. I wanted to wear the uniform, a whole shebang. And then, when I finally, like elementary school, I didn't have a good science and math program, so I never really knew a lot about it. And then I started learning more and more, like sixth grade, I started learning about tectonic plates and stuff. And then I started learning math and algebra, and I love algebra because I love problem solving. So that really helped me know where I want to take my life.
Nice. Do you want to go?
Yeah. I think I don't know. I learned that I can do stuff like this. Like I can speak in front of people because I never talk to me before Girl thinking no, I would not be here right now. And it's just giving me so many opportunities, and it shows me that I can do anything I put my mind to.
Truth. All right. What do you like most about the Eureka program? As long as you're talking, I'll have you start out, Mara.
I like how accepting it is. It makes me feel so inspired all the time, and I love that about it. And it feels so open, and like I have a bunch of friends all the time.
I love that answer. It's what we were talking about at the beginning, and that's fantastic. Amaya?
Okay. It's very accepting and it teaches us to keep our options really open. We get to meet a lot of women in STEM fields, which is something that I wouldn't have gotten to do without being able, like being in Eureka.
I definitely love how close everyone is. Like after 2 days, everyone was talking and laughing, throwing food at each other sometimes. Some people were really quiet. I was really quiet on the first day, but then our facilitators, our amazing facilitators, started talking to us and started being really calm and casual, and it was really like tight, nice.
That's cool. So we talked a little bit earlier about how y'all got into the program, and we know there's a really strong mom factor going. But for all of us here, what can we do? What advice would you give us, tips to get more young women interested in a STEM career?
Well, I definitely think that it's hard for some young women to picture themselves in a STEM field because a lot of schools don't have good programs, and a lot of like in the media and TV shows and stuff, there are not a lot of women that portraying characters. So I think we should really create an environment where young women feel more comfortable choosing that career.
Excellent. Mara?
I think the same thing. There's not very many women in the media who are in the STEM field. So I feel like to make your own version of that, if you know women that are in the STEM field, maybe introduce them to your daughter or something so they can see it right in front of them and feel like they can accomplish that too.
I think that organizations like Girls Inc. putting on events that are STEM focused and getting a bunch of girls together and creating a really positive environment is something that's really crucial for girls to experience, especially like at a young age.
It's all great advice. I hope everybody took notes because we need to get more girls into STEM. Thank you. Favorite woman or girl role model? Ready, go.
Willow Smith.
What's that?
Willow Smith.
Brilliant. And why?
She's an amazing artist. I just saw her perform at the Roseland. It was awesome, yeah.
Got good taste. All right, Mara.
My mom, because she's always working hard, like 24/7, but she still has time to deal with my complaining.
Has your complaining gone down since you've been in the Eureka program?
Yeah.
Audrey Hepburn, she survived the Holocaust. She was a humanitarian defending children's rights. Still devoted mother.
Nice. All excellent role models. Thank you. One final question, I think, before we wrap up. And that I was talking to you a little bit about it. Science, math, that's also like prescriptive. I love what I do because I get to creatively solve problems, right? There's a lot of creativity, I think, in STEM. And we were talking a little bit about it, Denitza. What do you think? Do you get to exercise your creativity in this program? And if so, how?
Yes, for sure. That was my first summer at Eureka. Every day for like an hour, we do an activity. I did like we designed and built stuff like shelters and stuff like that. And it was really hands-on, and you had to really think and use your imagination.
Nice. Mara?
I think one thing I remember from Girls Inc. incorporating creativity with science and math and things like that is like the very first Eureka thing. I remember we did this experiment where we like put different types of chemicals into water or something, and we put a little piece of paper inside, and it would turn it like rainbow colors. And that was really cool. I like to draw, and I like little pretty things like that. So that really resonated with me.
Nice. Amaya?
Yeah, we do a lot of hands-on activities. I remember one summer we met a blood technician and we got to do like an activity where we would like distinguish the different kinds of bloods. It was really fun. Yeah.
Is that why you were chasing me with a needle earlier? I want to check this out. No? All right. That's it. Thank you very much. I think there'll be some Q&A later.
Yeah, thank you guys. Let's give them a round of applause. Woo! You guys want to hang out over here, and then we'll bring them back after our last speaker so that we can do a bit of Q&A. That was awesome. Thank you all so much. I think we all know how hard it is to get up in front of a room of strangers and talk about yourself. So I really appreciate you guys being so open and sharing so much about your experience. Without further ado, our last speaker is an amazing young woman. She is only 17 years old. She has published her own book. She has an amazing website. And she has just inspired everybody who's ever heard her speak with her stories of how she found herself and has helped people figure out how to kind of live their life of true empowerment. So without further ado, the amazing Jolie Brownell.
Hey! Hi, everyone. Thank you again for inviting me to speak here. Yes, my name is Jolie Brownell, and I am 18. I just turned 18 during the week of Thanksgiving. So, but yes, I am the author of Me Too. It published on October 1st, and it's pretty much a collection of poetry, blog snippets, quotes, messages on 4 main topics: body acceptance, confidence, goal setting, and healthy relationships. So yeah, there we go. Having published this all and coming out into the world with my message, I've received great feedback, but I've also been told, or been asked, how does a 17-year-old go out there and publish a book? Like, how do you do it? Where do you find all that confidence? And I'm like, I don't know. Because I have to be completely honest with you guys, I did not start out this way. There was a very hard time in my life where I indeed hated myself completely. And so I thought I would share that story with you guys and see how it led to my book. So taking it back a few years ago, 6th grade, walking in, and that year was very tough. You know, first of all, it's middle school. Everyone is like, it's hell. Well, it is. But walking in, and from the start, I was bullied. Bullied for my darker skin color. I had matured a little faster than other girls. So I was made fun of for having bigger boobs and bigger butt and just being curvier. But I was just made fun of for various things, including my love of school. I was a nerd, definitely part of the nerd squad. I love school, I love getting A's, and so they made fun of me for that too. It got so bad that by the end of 6th grade, my mother had set me aside and was almost willing to homeschool me because I would cry myself to sleep. I felt horrible about myself, and that continued on through middle school. And I think the only thing that kept me through was the small voice inside of me that loves to get A's. That was it. I graduated 8th grade, valedictorian of my class, 4.0. So that was something. But moving into high school, the bullying stopped, but I had carried the same messages that I received from all those students in my head. And I kept saying it and repeating it to myself. You're ugly, you're fat, you're dumb, you're weird, you're different. And it continued on until to one point, and I like to call it my rock bottom. I was about 13 years old, still freshman, sitting in my room, and in my family, when you're 13, you get a debit card. So one of the first purchases that I made with my debit card was weight loss pills. I had secretly ordered them, not knowing that my dad receives checks of everything I order. But besides that, I ordered them, and they came, and I took some. But first I did the math. There was 50 in the bottle, and I told myself, okay, you take 2 a day in a month, you'll be skinny, you'll be beautiful, you'll be perfect. And so I took 2 of them, and I'm sitting on my bed, I'm having this like mental war in my head because my parents tell me never eat anything you cannot pronounce. And let me tell you, on that bottle, every single word on there, I had no idea how to pronounce. But it promised me something. It promised me a thin, beautiful body. And so I took them, and I was going back and forth with myself in my head. But my rationale was that it was my fault. You know, I'm taking these pills because you're fat. I'm taking these pills because you're ugly. You're making me take these pills because of that. And I'm just wrestling there, sitting in my room. It's dark out now. And finally, I move from my couch to my floor. And I'm crying by this point. And I'm just complete hatred for myself. And finally, some voice inside me, I call it your inner angel, comes out and just asks one question. Why? Why is thin beautiful? Why is that the only definition of beautiful? Then ask the second question, who? Who told you that thin was beautiful? That light was beautiful? So I answer, magazines. And I just kind of have this talk in my head, like, okay, you're gonna let a flimsy little piece of paper tell you what is and what is not. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, yeah, excuse me. And I have magazines in my room and I'm looking at them and I'm just like, I'd let that dictate how I viewed myself for the last few years. And I just sat there and I was like, no. And I think one of the other reasons why is because that little girl in me that loves to get A's, that's determined, she came out and she says, you want to change the world. And I do, and I still do. At that moment, I wanted to change the world. And I asked myself in my heart, how can you go out and fight for the world if you are too busy going against yourself? Let me repeat that. How can you go out and fight for the world if you are too busy going against yourself? And I was like, you can't. You can't because you're wasting all that energy trying to prove yourself instead of using it to make a difference in the world. So at that moment, I decided to just let it go. Let go of this sense that I need to prove myself. Let go of the word ugly, fat, let go of all of them. And I felt this liberation inside of me. And I ended up, I'm exhausted by this point. So I go to bed and I wake up and I still feel this idea of liberation, but, okay, I'm no longer ugly, right? But I still don't feel beautiful, right? I'm no longer fat, but I still don't feel good enough. And so at that point, I promised to myself that from that day on, I was going to force myself to teach myself how to love myself. And that was going to be my mission. And so I went online, because Google's got all the answers, and I typed in how to love yourself or something to that, and things come up. And one of the things were, look up quotes and put them in your room. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went on to Pinterest because Pinterest was huge then. And I just dove in and found quotes on body acceptance, confidence, everything relating to girl empowerment. I searched them up and I wrote them down. And luckily, I had this one period in my class that I was not too fond of, my third period math, I know, that I would, instead of probably paying attention, I would look on my phone a bunch of quotes and write them down over and over and over again. And I would do that whenever I could during lunch, at home, and trying to ingrain that message inside of me over and over and over again. And I also, went to the bathroom. Another tip I saw was like, say it to yourself. And I would look into the mirror and I would look at myself and I say, you're beautiful, you are powerful, you're capable. But of course, when no one was around, because you might seem a little weird if someone passes you and you're saying that. But I made sure to find the time to invest in myself and to teach myself how to love myself. And going through Pinterest, obsessing over Pinterest actually, led me to start writing. All through this, I love writing. Essays are my favorite in class. And I asked myself, well, why not pair, your love of writing with this empowerment? Add in your own quotes that other girls may be able to look at one day and use that to help uplift them. So I went out, looked for a guest blog, and decided to write on a blog called All Women's Stock. And I decided to write there because there were a lot of, let's just say, not very empowering messages. One of the first blogs I saw there was 10 ways to look like Taylor Swift. And I was like, that is not possible. And that's okay, right? But I said, okay, well, in response to that, how about 10 ways to be who you are, or to figure out who you are? And that's what I would do. I would kind of write my own blogs in response to other blogs. And I continued doing that. And then during that time, I also became a part of another organization. They're not represented here, but I'm that girl. And becoming a part of their organization and writing for them, I kind of started to collect all this writing, also poetry that I sprinkled in there too. And coming up to senior year, I have all this writing, and my mom, my amazing mom, because they're always right, she suggested to me that I save some of my writing for myself. And of course, I'm like, why? Why would I say that? Because they were all on the guest blogs. So I was like, okay, fine. You're usually right, so I'll just do it. So I copied and pasted all the blogs, and I saved them for myself. And I was like, okay, I got like over 100 pages of writing. Like, what am I going to do with it? During that same time, my parents were encouraging me to take a gap year, because that's what we do in my family. And a gap year is pretty much a year off between your senior year of high school and your freshman year of college. And it was put on my heart for that gap year to write a book with all of my messages. And so that is how my book came to be. I put them all together. I saw that they all had kind of 4 main themes: the body acceptance, confidence, goal setting, and healthy relationships. And so I went out there into my community. I was like, hey, I have this dream. No idea how to do it, by the way. I don't know how to publish a book, but I need help. And I was able to find an incredible team of people and mentors who helped me create it. And I hope that with my book, that I can be an extra positive message for other girls. But the reason why I share this story is because to answer the question, where did all your confidence come from? It obviously came from learning how to be okay and good enough for myself, but realizing that anyone cannot go out and go after the impossible or achieve the impossible until they first believe that they're capable of achieving it. And you can't believe that you are capable until you believe that everything about who you are is good enough, that you're beautiful enough, talented enough, smart enough, good enough. And I saw that and decided to work on myself. And now, with my writing and speaking, I'm hoping to help girls work on that part too, so then they can step out and go out and change the world. To end my speech, I wanted to share with you a poem that I wrote, and it's called How Do I Empower You? So I hope you enjoy. How do I convince you that there is more to life than boys, makeup, trends, and clothes? How do I convince you that that something more is actually worth going after? That searching deeper within yourself will lead to beautiful discoveries of who you are. But first, how do I prove to you that you are worth discovering? How do I go against everything you have been told? How do I stand a chance to broaden your perspective, change the narrative against everything you have been taught and sold to ever since the day you were born? How do I undo the damage the words "not good enough" has done to you? How do I redefine your definition of beautiful into one that includes you? How do I assure you that your reflection isn't your enemy, but that she can be your best friend if you just let her in? How do I persuade you that loving yourself will be the best love story you'll ever find? How do I erase the negative self-talk that has tattooed itself on the walls of your mind? How do I motivate you to go after your dreams? But first, how do I even get you to start dreaming? How do I convince you to listen to me? But more importantly, how do I convince you to start listening to your own heart? Thank you.
Thank you. That's amazing. Can we have one big round of applause for all of our speakers as they come back up and we ask questions? Why don't you guys come on back up and grab chairs? We'll do some quick questions of my 3 Girls Inc. women and Jolie. Awesome. All right. I will ask the first question while you all think about your questions. So we heard 4 different stories about what you have gotten involved in recently, and what inspires you. And so it can be for any or all of you. I'd ask, if you were to give one piece of advice to a young woman out in Portland who doesn't know kind of who they are and what they should do next, what would be your advice to them from your experiences? And remember, if you push the button on your microphone and it turns green, your microphone is live. Anybody can start who wants to answer. Go for it.
Don't be afraid to try new things, because I know I've been really afraid.
I would say get involved because you never know what you can find out there. There's so many different events and programs.
The idea of trying to figure out who you are, let me just tell you something. It's a life journey. You're never going to figure it out, and that's the beauty of it. So go out there, explore, but also realize that it takes time, and that's okay. It's okay to explore yourself. It's okay to not always know. And just like these girls said, just go out there, try new things, dip your toe in the water, and just don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah, I agree completely. It does take a lot of time. Some people don't know what they're majoring in college until senior year or even like freshman year. Never stop believing in yourself just because somebody around you doesn't believe in you too. Never stop chasing your dreams just because someone isn't there alongside you. I know it's really hard when somebody's right there putting you down and telling you, like, if you have an idea, it's that it's bad or stupid, and then a year later, somebody else has the idea and makes billions. So never let anybody put you down or tell you that.
Ooh, good answers. Thank you all so much. All right, I have one of my colleagues on the other side of the room with a mic as well, so just raise your hand and we'll get the microphone to you so you can ask a question.
Hi, I wanted to, when I was in high school, music was really important to me, inspiring to me. And last week I happened to see Jack and Jack in Northeastern Portland. And who inspires you to use it where you work, good music? What music is inspiring you in high school now?
Um, I I like really chill music, like music that just puts me in a good mood and like in a good headspace that has like lots of cool instrumentals and stuff and saying positive things, uh, just happy things.
For me, anything Beyonce, pretty much. Yeah.
A lot of my friends make music actually. SoundCloud, if anybody knows what that is. There's a lot of SoundCloud artists I listen to. I also like indie music, like homework music, rap. It just really depends.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I listen to rap. I listen to like Tupac. Yeah, like things that like definitely put a positive message out there, like upbeat. Not always Tupac. Probably not when your parents are around. Never put that on full volume without headphones.
Thank you. I just don't know the whole new groups these days. So thank you.
Other questions?
I'd like to hear maybe from each of you briefly, maybe looking back a couple of years earlier in your life, what is the one thing that you wish that the adults knew about you or that they understood better about you?
I can go. I think not really the adults around me, but I think just adults as a society. I think there can be damage when adults kind of put teenagers in this kind of box. There is a level of immaturity in all of us, that is true. But I think there is a lot of potential in our youth, and categorizing teens as, immature or not fully there can be damaging. So I think letting teens know that they have the potential to do great things is really important to instill in everyone.
I think like teachers especially just acknowledging that we all have worries and like anxieties around things and just I don't respecting those and treating us nicely and not like pressuring us too much. I understand that there are qualifications and stuff for grades and things like that, and I'll like go by those, but I just like someone who feels like they're there for me if things are difficult.
You want to go?
Oh, okay. Well, I definitely wish that some adults around me knew how hard it was, like trying to understand what's going on in your life. I know it's hard, like if for a parent to know, like if it's hard at school or outside of school, after school. It's definitely not easy. Just trying to be supportive and trying to understand, but definitely try to understand that it's not easy, especially with school.
I really appreciate teachers and adults who just continuously support their students and realize that we all have such broad interests and yeah, just supporting us.
Thanks. Anybody else before we break and let you guys talk to all of these amazing nonprofits? All right, one more there.
I was curious how or if are you spreading the word of Girls Inc. to your peers?
I'm always telling my friends about like what I'm doing with Girls Inc. 'Cause I think it's really cool and I get kind of excited. And I always tell them that like they should join because we have a little Girls Inc. girl group like at lunch at my school. So I always like encourage people to be a part of that and tell them all about it and say they should join.
Yeah, a lot of my classmates or friends are really interested in what I do with Girls Inc. because of things they've seen over social media. So I always tell them and get them excited and try and encourage them to join too.
I'm actually teaming up with Girls Inc. to create a workshop series that will go to the topics of my book. So I'm spreading the news about that just because that's what I'm doing. That's my next project. So yeah.
I tell my friends and my teachers what I do. And there are a lot of feminists in my school and some teachers. Just today, a boy in my class, in my writing class, said that there was no wage difference and full on chaotic. Just every girl in the room, some teachers down the hallway, the door was open. He said it quite loudly. So it did not end well for him, and now he's scared of feminists. He should be. We're strong. Power in numbers.
Awesome. Okay. Well, please join me one last time in thanking these amazing young women. I know when I was a teenager, I definitely was not sitting in front of a group of people and talking about myself. So or writing a book or figuring out how to be a mechanical engineer. So I'm incredibly impressed by all of these young women, and I hope you have been as well.